Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the BMW 3 Series Gran Limousine. Yes, that's right, Gran Limousine. And straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay of this vehicle. This is the diesel engine. It says twin power turbo. You can see the engine rock a bit there. Okay, it's very hot, the engine bay right now. Obviously, it's come from a spirited drive. There's insulation right there. And the design of this car is similar to the regular 3 Series, but there's some elements on this car which distinguish it from, of course, the regular 3 Series, because this is the GL, the Gran Limousine. Now, what is it? I will tell you in a bit. But you can see the design of this car is very, very chromy. You know why? Because this is the luxury trim. It's also available in M Sport. The lights look really beautiful. You get this chrome treatment here, and this seems to be a fake air vent. I mean, this is not real actually. That's what I meant by fake, obviously. But this could be opened in certain variants, maybe not in the regular ones, but the ones with more power to draw in air. That would be so cool. There's a functional air dam here. You can see that. Front parking sensors. This is the towing hook. The grille is full of chrome, and the grille actually opens and closes depending on if it needs air or not. There's the beautiful BMW logo on the car. The lights look really very nice, very powerful at night, of course. And let's look at how the indicators work on this car. That is how the indicator works. The bumper isn't very aggressive, but the car looks really stunning from the side because the proportions are just right for a long wheelbase model. When compared to the earlier GT, the 3 GT, the Gran Limousine looks super duper elegant. Look at the length, it looks really very stretched because the wheelbase has been increased by 110 mm. Yeah, that's right, 110 mm. If anything I have to nitpick, I would say the wheels are actually small on this car. These are 17 inches. Of course, on the M Sport you get bigger wheels, and the bigger wheels are staggered. Yeah, at the front we have got 225s, at the rear too we have got 225s, but on the M Sport we have got 255s. Now this is a 225 50 17 tire size, and obviously on the M Sport you get 18 inches. Well, that was obvious now, isn't it? Because the M Sport has to be more sporty in appearance with a lot of sporty elements, and of course the fake M badges as well. Fake M badges because M Sport is no real M, of course. Coming to the rear, similar design language to the regular 3 Series. It says 320 LD right at the rear, and the lights look beautiful here too. Of course you've got the chrome elements running here, but there is no air dam. Rear parking sensors, chrome treatment for the exhaust. The exhausts are not fake here, they are real AF. Let me show them closer to you. Yeah, there you see, real exhaust on this car. Wheels are actually small, you know. I don't know why I feel that. Anyways, the boot is easy to open. Press a button here and the boot opens. Now it's a powered tailgate on this car. It's also got something known as comfort access. If you come and stand behind, the boot will automatically open. That's like hands-free trunk. 480 liters of boot space, and the spare wheel, of course, isn't an alloy. It's a space saver. It's smaller in terms of size. I can't really figure out the size, but I think it's going to be really very small, maybe a 120 or so. There's storage space all around in the boot as well, and you press a button and there the boot closes. Now this is the reverse parking camera, of course, and there the boot closes. That was easy. However, the real highlight of this car is, of course, the rear seat experience. So we are going to check that right away. Firstly, you can see the door is much longer than before, which means it should take effort to open. It does not. It almost opens 90 degrees. Take that, Tata Ultros. Meanwhile, you've got a lot of storage spaces on the door pocket. One and another one where I've stuffed 2 bottles at the moment. Very thirsty somehow. Says BMW right there, just in case when you're getting inside you forget which car you're getting into. Now the rear seat experience is staggering because the rear seat legroom has improved by 43 mm, and the recline angle is also just right. You can't change the recline angle of the rear seat, unfortunately, but still it is a fantastic rear seat. Let me get inside, and there you see there is good amount of knee room, there is good amount of leg room. Under thigh support is also quite good, but 3 people cannot sit in because of the hump, and gets a 3-zone climate control air conditioning system. You get a rear zone, 2 USB-C charging sockets right there, rear AC vents, scooped out seat back, magazine holders there, and of course you've got 3 adjustable headrests along with a center armrest, and there's storage space in the center armrest as well. That's quite cool. Yeah, there's more storage space. You can keep a tablet right there. But you know what? The cabin actually feels airy. I love the color treatment on the inside, and of course you get a massive panoramic roof here too. The dashboard is a similar affair to the regular 3 Series. Yeah, but you've got certain more features in this car which is obviously very beneficial. I love this treatment. Obviously it gets ambient lighting as well. Quality level is a fantastic. Car feels super solid. Headroom is also quite adequate. There's a hook and of course a handle to hold on to on both the sides. There's a light placement in the center, and they scooped this out for adequate headroom, of course, at the rear. So rear seat gets a big thumbs up from me. Let's get to the front. Not that you really care about that, because most people are going to be seated here. If they're not going to be seated here, just get the regular 3 Series. Save your money. Now that is the shark fin antenna, which seems to have grown in size a bit. Now there is no keyless entry. Yeah, you have to use the key to open the door of the car, which is quite unfortunate at this price point. Yeah, quality levels are fantastic. Door pads feel nice. See, the door pockets are large enough. These are obviously the controls for the power windows, and these are for the outside rear view mirrors, and this is to lock and unlock the car, which is also present on the other side. And these are memory seats only for the driver. The co-driver does not get memory seats. Hi Noreen, what's up? How's the car? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
It's nice.
It's nice? Really? How nice is it?
It's really nice.
Forget all that. Tell me, how come you're not taking a selfie?
Actually, KFC challenge पर अब हारी है, very sleepy.
Okay, the KFC challenge is something these guys don't know about. They will know about it in a bit. Today you're not wearing chimpanzee clothes. What's up with that? Okay, let's not digress. Let's get back to the vlog. So under thigh support is not an issue, because you can increase the under thigh support here for the driver as well as for the co-driver. And these are the controls for adjusting the seat. Electric adjust, of course. There's a proper dead pedal. There's storage space here for your cigarettes. Yeah, so you can hide it from your wife. And obviously these are controls for the headlights. You get automatic headlights. These are obviously for the fog lights as well. And this is to obviously do the headlight leveler adjustment. Let's get inside. See, the speakers are really fantastic. Harman Kardon speakers. Audio quality is very good inside this car. Let's do one thing. Let's turn off the indicators. Now this is a 10.25 inch screen. This is a 12.3 inch instrument cluster, which might remind you of the Verna. You know why? Because I think both of them have done something which is very similar. You get a lot of information here. In order to browse through this, you press this BC button and you can browse through a lot of information. You also get a G-force meter, tells you how much power and torque you're consuming in real time. Everything, including track and all, can be browsed through this, and you get a map in the center. Now, of course, you can change the color. This is for comfort mode. This is for sport mode. Unfortunately, though, sport and comfort don't look very different, and in sport mode, you can't really see the tachometer as such. But you know what? I miss the old dials which were there in previous BMW cars. Now this screen is also very legit, and here is the iDrive controller. It works flawlessly well, very fast, very fluid. 2 zones at the front, obviously for the climate control, air conditioning. All the AC controls are here. These are the controls for the audio system, and this is obviously a touch screen with plenty of information. That is also very nice. It gets Apple CarPlay, it gets Android Auto connectivity. In fact, this is so slick, you know, it's one of the best. No, it's not one of the best. It is the best system in the market right now, without a doubt. You get into settings, and there you see you can browse through so much. All the information is right here. This is so fantastic. Let's get into ambient light. Unfortunately, there are just 6 colors for the ambient lighting. Yeah, that is about 8. No, not 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, I have got 11 colors. I would have expected more colors because Mercedes-Benz is offering 64 color ambient lighting in their cars, which is fantastic as well. Now let's get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera. It gets adaptive guidelines. It gets front parking sensors as well. It gets something known as reversing assistant, which basically mimics the movements you make on the steering wheel, just to make it easier for you to park the car. Meanwhile, below the front center armrest, there's storage space along with a USB charging socket, and here there's a USB charging socket along with a wireless charging pad, along with twin cup holders and a 12-volt charging socket as well. Meanwhile, these are the iDrive controllers. Actually, you know, this is super duper awesome. I love it. The rotary dial and all the buttons here to control stuff. This is the gear lever, and this is for auto hold. This is the electric parking brake. These are the drive mode. This is the engine start stop button. This is also the start stop button. Actually, this is the engine start and stop button, and this is the start stop button, which basically turns off the car when you come to a signal or a halt, just to conserve fuel, which is always off because it's so irritating when the car comes to life or shuts down and turns off the air conditioning. This is for the parking sensors, and this is for traction control system. The steering wheel feels really nice to hold. You get paddle shifters, and of course these are the controls for the audio system. Yeah, these are the controls for the audio system. This is to pick up a call. This is for voice commands. These are the buttons for the cruise control system. Meanwhile, these are for the indicators and also for high beam and low beam. Meanwhile, these are the controls for the wipers. It obviously gets automatic wipers. You see there is a lot of spray on offer. Yeah, plenty of spray on offer. Obviously, you get an auto dimming inside rear view mirror. Meanwhile, the glove box is decent size, not really big as such, and the steering wheel can be adjusted both for reach as well as rake, but it's a manual adjustment right there. Now, the best thing about this car is the fact that overall quality levels are good. Yeah, soft touch plastics here, but some hard touches as well. The interior combination looks beautiful. The horn is also loud enough. The air conditioning is powerful, and the audio system is amazing as well, because obviously it's a Harman Kardon unit. What we are going to do is we are going to play an audio right away. Audio quality is actually very good, but gesture controls are actually missing on this car, which is quite surprising. This is the roof of the car, brings in a lot of airy feeling because thankfully it is a panoramic roof and it opens quite a bit. Let's open the glass, of course, and there the glass comes out, which also looks quite good because once it is open now, it brings so much more airy feeling. You have to press it once again and there it opens quite big and large. Okay, these are the controls for the lights. Lights are also bright enough, and of course you get a mirror along with a light on both the sides, that is. However, how is this car to drive? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get going. Alright, we are all set to go, which means first and foremost we'll turn off the air conditioning. We are going to get into sport mode activated. We're just going to get into standard sport mode. Individual is also configured the same, so it doesn't really matter. Hey BMW, sport displays.
Sport displays.
Thank you. And we are going to get traction control sport, get into drive mode, get into sport mode for the gearbox or manual mode, whatever you want to call it. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard light off, revving the motor, launch control. Performance, as you would expect, is quite brisk because of course this is the 2-liter diesel. I know the 330 Li is something which is more attractive to you and also to me because it makes the identical 400 Newton meters of torque as the diesel, but in a wider torque band as well. Rather, the band RPM band is wider for the torque output, which is amazing. But this is the 2-liter diesel which produces 190 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque between 1750 to 2500 RPM, and as expected, performance is very slick. In fact, it feels smooth, it feels refined, it feels punchy as well. And get-go also is very fast and nice. However, the mid-range isn't as punchy as what was there earlier in the BS4 model. So with BS6, slight dullness in the mid-range performance has happened, and the motor, although very silent, very refined, does get a bit vocal in the top end. Like you can hear a lot in the top end. Now I have steering mounted paddles, of course. I have a triptronic function here as well, and the motor will rev all the way to almost 5000 RPM. Yeah, now it is happening because when you touch the paddles, it doesn't happen, but you have to touch the triptronic function. It's revving till 5400 RPM. So yes, BMW has retained its charm of giving you manual control of things, and here we upshift. So performance is good enough for this car to go from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.6 seconds. But the 330 Li goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in 6.2 seconds. It's obviously faster, it produces more power, around 250 horsepower. So yeah, around 60 more horses from the petrol model. The 330 is just so much better. But again, it's also 4-cylinder. This is also a 4-cylinder. So how does it feel different from the regular 3 Series? Does it or does it not? Of course it does, because it's longer, it is heavier, and BMW has also made changes to the steering wheel of this car, made it slightly less, what would I say, aggressive, which means that it is lighter at lower speeds. Yeah, it is lighter at lower speeds, which kind of dulls the agility of the car, but makes it much more easier to drive without a doubt. Of course, the 3 Series has always been about agility, fun, and driving dynamics, but this car feels a little bit on the softer side, and the ride quality is just stellar and stunning on this car without a doubt. BMW has done a great job. They've tuned the suspension to be even more compliant, and that's the reason why it absorbs almost everything in its stride without any issue whatsoever. Taking a U-turn, no problem at all. But still, get onto the gas, and gearbox changes gears very fast indeed, because this happens to be a 8-speed gearbox, which is of course in BMW fashion super quick with shifts. And here we go. Some amount of wheel spin on offer, of course that will happen, but I am so impressed by the ride quality of this car. It does a great job on bad roads. It just absorbs everything in its stride without any issue whatsoever, and in spite of the slight softness in the suspension, the compliance is great. But at high speed also it remains glued to the road, because it has a 110 mm longer wheelbase as well, which of course aids in high speed stability. The steering doesn't feel as sharp as before, but it's good enough. It actually offers you feel and feedback. Body roll is also there in this car, unlike what's there with the 3 Series. The regular 3 Series has body roll well contained. There's some amount of body roll which you can be felt if you try to corner it aggressively. So yeah, the handling characteristics have got blunted a bit, but nobody would really care, because it's not about driving pleasure here. It's about being sat at the rear while your chauffeur takes you around, because this is a long wheelbase, and this long wheelbase means that people don't really have to push for the 5 Series. In fact, it has more space than the 5 Series as well. So yeah, this seems like a win-win situation. BMW is actually copying Mercedes. What Mercedes did with the E-Class long wheelbase, BMW is like, here we'll give you a 3 Series long wheelbase. By the way, this is not something new because they had the 3 GT. Now this is the 3 GL and they have a 2 GC. So they are just stuck on the word Gran. They want every Gran. Yeah, they want everything to be Gran, which kind of makes sense because that's what Indian buyers also want. Everything in excess, something big. And this is the first market where, right-hand market, where we are getting the long wheelbase version of the 3 Series. I think in China you get long wheelbase versions of the 3 Series as well. Ironically though, the Chinese are not really tall, but neither are Indians, but still we love our long wheelbase cars, don't we? Traction control completely off. Yeah, completely off traction control. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Launch control doesn't work in this mode. Lot of wheel spin. Yeah, lot of wheel spin on offer because there's a lot of torque going in as well. Now let me tell you that braking performance is actually very good in this car. Sure, for its stopping power for sure, but you know, because of the soft suspension, over expansion joints, some amount of bounciness can be felt. So low speed ride is very good, medium speed ride is also very good, high speed ride a little bit bouncy over bad roads, but for the most part this car remains glued to the road without any effort whatsoever. So as I see it, this BMW 3 Series Gran Limousine, I always say Gran Coupe, I'm not used to the word Gran Limousine. Who calls a car the size of a 3 Series a Gran Limousine or a limousine? Well, BMW does, because yes, it does offer you a lot of space. And for those people who are looking for space, this car is still unparalleled in the segment. Of course, we have to keep the Skoda Superb outside because among the German rivals, this has the best space in the segment. Obviously, because it's the only long wheelbase version of the car available. Do you think Mercedes should also do a C-Class long wheelbase? I don't think so. They will do that, because if they do that, who's going to buy the E-Class? And you know, obviously, the E-Class offers you almost 75% comfort of the S-Class. And this engine is such a gem. It is so refined. It's a lovely motor. The gearbox is also so fast shifting that it's baffling how quick BMW gearboxes are in terms of making shifts super fast, super slick. And the overall experience of driving this car is still up there with what you expect from BMW. Only thing is that if you like driving, just get the regular 3 Series, save some money. So how much more is it going to cost? I think it must cost around 2-3 lakhs more, probably more as well, because it's got a lot more features too. And of course, the longer wheelbase is the real highlight here with this particular car. So there are 3 drive modes on offer. Of course, there's Eco, there's Comfort, and there's Sport as well, in which we are driving right now. And what do? They actually alter the engine, the gearbox, and the steering wheel. That's about it. Obviously, it doesn't get adaptive suspension. You don't even expect all that at this price point, adaptive dampers or whatever you want to call it. But you know what? There are additional 2 modes. You can configure them individually. The Eco as well as the Sport modes can be configured individually. Yeah, the Comfort mode cannot be done. What happens is, in Sport mode, you get a little bit more spike from the engine in terms of overall performance, and that happens because the map changes. In Eco Pro, you can see that it's kind of sluggish, but helps to improve the fuel efficiency by around 20%, maybe more as well. It all depends on your driving style, but I would honestly drive the car all the time in Sport mode because that additional grunt from the motor feels so good. Now around the corners, it does not understeer, little bit oversteery characteristic if you turn off the traction control, which we have done at the moment. But since there's not much power or torque going to the rear wheels as such, it's not really going to go out of line at all, because at the end of the day, this is just a diesel engine making modest power and torque, enough to keep you happy, not enough to make you wet in your pants. For that, probably we would need the M3 and maybe the M4. Just get rid of that grill. And on that expectation, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will just downshift, and bye bye.